What's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Today I definitely feel rushed. I'm so behind, but I like today's goal. So even though I feel rushed, I don't want to rush this video because I like the idea of today's goal and really how it's going to be defined for our lives. So without any further ado, hope everyone is having a great start to their Tuesday, but let's jump right into today's goal. So the goal for today is to be watchful. Okay, be watchful. Now, immediately, if you know me, you know I'm a huge Game of Thrones fan. Like, that literally is my all-time favorite show. I could watch it all day, every day. So when I first saw that today's goal was to be watchful, I'm like, oh shoot, we the watchers on the wall. And if you know Game of Thrones, if you know, you know. If you know, you know. But that's what I immediately thought of. I'm like, oh, it's like, the Men of the Night's Watch. But then, of course, I had to look up the definition because I'm like, all right, God, you're not having me talk a whole video about the watchers on the wall. So what does it mean to be watchful? It means to be, to observe or to keep a close eye on something or someone. I think one definition also said to keep a close eye on anything that could cause threat or harm. So to be watchful, when we're talking about this today, this is going to be a goal that we want to adopt into our everyday lives, but we don't want to be within that day. We don't want to have a day that consists of us just being watchful the entire day. Even today, even though this is our goal for today, we don't want to be watchful every second of the day. Why? Because that just sounds exhausting. It sounds like you're just constantly looking over your shoulder and you have no peace. So when we're talking about being watchful, yes, it's going to be a part of our nature. But more so, we want to be perceiving or keeping a lookout on things that could potentially cause a threat or cause harm to our lives, to our peace, to our futures, to our goals, to our morals, our mission, and our values. Okay? We want to keep a lookout on those things. Why? Because we don't want to let ourselves be open to any attack that could come our way. Any attack. So I'm going to relate it back to the Watchers on the Wall because that's the first thing I thought of. And it is very, it does go hand in hand. Because if you've watched Game of Thrones, you know that the men of the Black Watch, or the men of the Night's Watch, their job was to be the lookout for threats or incoming attacks that could come in from the other side of the wall. I'm not going to give too much just in case there's some Game of Thrones watchers out there. I won't spoil. No spoiler alerts here. But their job and their mission, they devoted their lives to making sure that the rest of the kingdom was safe from anything that was beyond the wall or any attacks or any threats that would come from beyond the wall. So we have to do that to ourselves. Yes, we can devote our lives without completely devoting our lives. We can devote our lives by saying, you know what? I'm going to take a stand and I'm going to make sure to watch out for any negative things or any harmful or any threatening things that could come into my life. But I'm still going to have peace because I'm not going to be constantly looking over my shoulder or constantly sitting there waiting for an attack. Because the men of the Night's Watch, they weren't just waiting all the time. They had other duties within the wall that they had to do and that they had to upkeep. But that was their main job, was to make sure that no threats or nothing penetrated that wall. So we need to do the same thing to us. That needs to be our main job. Even though we have other jobs, that needs to be something that we are constantly looking at, is making sure that nothing penetrates our spirits, nothing penetrates our souls, nothing comes in that's negative that could cause harm to us, that could disrupt us, disrupt our peace, cause chaos. We don't want any of that. We don't want any of that. So if you're a Game of Thrones fan, it's going to be easy. It should be easy for you to remember that. Okay? We, the watchers on the wall. If you're not, watch Game of Thrones. I don't know what to tell you. But that is today's goal, is to be watchful. Hope everyone has a great Tuesday. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.